Y&R Daily: The Young and the Restless. Spoilers. Wednesday, October 8th, Jack vs. Kane, Nikki's search, Jill and Victor reconnect. The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for Wednesday, October 8th, 2025. In tomorrow's episode, fans can expect Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, to push Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, to do the right thing. Want more of The Young and the Restless? Get updates on the latest news about The Young and the Restless, straight to your inbox. We use your personal data for interest-based advertising, as outlined in our privacy notice. What is this? Report ad. Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, shares shocking news with Jill Abbott, Jess Walton. Plus, Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, searches for answers. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Make sure to check out our weekly Y&R spoilers, here. Jill Abbott vs. Nikki Newman. Let's start off with Jill and Nikki, who faced each other after a long time. At first, it seemed like things were going well as they bonded over what Catherine Chancellor, Jean Cooper, would want. However, then the topic turned to Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, and Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn. That's when things got heated and Jill doesn't see any reason to worry about Kane's activities. Fire catfight of the century. Jill Abbott and Nikki Newman's explosive feud erupts. Genoa City will never be the same. The calm before the storm has officially passed in Genoa City. For years, tensions between Jill Abbott and Nikki Newman have simmered beneath the surface, occasionally sparking but never quite igniting into full-blown chaos. That all changes now. In what fans are calling the catfight of the century, these two formidable women are going head-to-head in a war that threatens to shatter long-standing alliances, family bonds, and the delicate balance of power that keeps Genoa City together. The whispers have turned into roars, and the gloves are off. Jill and Nikki are done playing nice. It all began innocently enough, with a few sharp words exchanged over business. Chancellor Winters and Newman Enterprises have crossed paths before, but never quite like this. When Jill felt Nikki was stepping on her turf with a new corporate expansion that put the Newman matriarch in direct competition with her company's philanthropic branch, things got personal fast. Jill, never one to back down, accused Nikki of using her status and her marriage to Victor to bulldoze smaller operations, including the legacy Jill built with her own two hands. The insult cut deep, and Jill didn't hold back. She made sure everyone in Genoa City knew she wasn't going to let the Newmans take over without a fight. Nikki, of course, has never been one to let a public slight go unanswered. Proud, polished, and always fiercely protective of the Newman name, she fired back with equal venom. According to insiders at Society, the two women had an argument so heated that waitstaff had to intervene before the scene turned physical. It was like watching a live episode of Genoa City Uncensored, one witness said. Nikki slammed her martini glass on the table and told Jill she's been coasting on past glories. Jill shot back that Nikki's only power comes from the men in her life. Ouch. The fallout has been nuclear. Catherine Chancellor's portrait might as well be spinning on the wall because her two closest friends are now at each other's throats in a way that would make even the late Mrs. C gasp. The women who once bonded over shared losses and triumphs are now tearing each other apart over ego, legacy, and power. What's even more shocking is how the feud is drawing other key players into the crossfire. Billy Abbott, who's already neck-deep in his own corporate drama, is being forced to pick sides. Devon Hamilton is worried that Jill's actions could undo months of progress at Chancellor Winters. Meanwhile, Victor Newman, ever the strategist, seems to be watching from the sidelines with that knowing smirk, perhaps already planning how to turn the situation to his advantage. The real question isn't who started this feud. It's who's going to finish it. Jill Abbott is a survivor, a woman who's clawed her way from the wrong side of the tracks to the top of the corporate world. She's taken on titans before, from Catherine Chancellor to Victor Newman himself, and somehow always found a way to come out stronger. But Nikki Newman isn't intimidated easily. She's reinvented herself countless times, survived addiction, heartbreak, and scandal, and still commands the respect of an entire city. These are two women who don't know the meaning of surrender, and that's exactly why this battle has fans riveted. Behind the scenes, whispers suggest that the feud might go even deeper than business. Sources close to the Newman family reveal that Nikki's recent charity initiative, meant to honor the late Neil Winters, inadvertently collided with one of Jill's pet projects. What could have been a beautiful collaboration instead turned into a clash of egos. Jill allegedly accused Nikki of hijacking the event for publicity, a claim that left Nikki livid. "Jill's lucky I didn't throw my drink in her face," Nikki reportedly fumed afterward. "She's been jealous of my life for decades." Jill, on the other hand, isn't backing down. In a private meeting with Billy and Devin, she reportedly declared, "If Nikki Newman wants a war, she's got one." Those words have sent shockwaves through Genoa City. Longtime fans know that when Jill makes a declaration like that, chaos usually follows. Whether it's hostile takeovers, corporate espionage, or even personal vendettas, Jill has never played by anyone else's rules. And Nikki, with her own resources and the full force of the Newman empire behind her, is equally prepared to strike back. What's most fascinating about this feud is the emotional undercurrent running beneath it. For all their differences, Jill and Nikki share similar scars. They've both lost loved ones, faced public humiliation, and rebuilt themselves from the ashes. Once upon a time, they even respected each other's resilience. That's what makes their current war so painful, and so compelling. It's not just about money or status. It's about two women who've spent their lives proving their worth in a world that often underestimated them. Now, they're turning that same determination against each other. The stakes couldn't be higher. With Victor keeping a watchful eye and the Abbott family already fractured by internal tension, the fallout could have long-lasting effects. If Jill makes a move against Newman Enterprises, she risks alienating Devin and Lily, who've worked tirelessly to keep Chancellor Winters stable. If Nikki pushes back too hard, she could ignite tensions within her own family, especially with Victoria, who might sympathize with Jill's position. After all, Victoria knows firsthand what it's like to fight for independence from Victor's shadow. In true Genoa City fashion, the drama doesn't stop at business. Rumors are swirling that the feud might spill into the personal arena, and possibly the romantic one. Could old flames or buried secrets resurface as weapons in this war? Some fans suspect that Jill might use her connections to dig into one of Nikki's old scandals, possibly something from her wilder days. Others think Nikki might retaliate by bringing up Jill's long history of scheming and betrayal, or worse, dredging up something about Philip Chancellor that Jill would rather keep buried. The beauty of this showdown is that it's not just about two women fighting, it's about history, pride, and power colliding in a spectacular fashion. Every cutting remark, every strategic move, feels like decades of tension finally boiling over. Fans who've watched The Young and the Restless for years know that both women are capable of anything when pushed to their limits. This feud could reshape Genoa City's power structure for years to come, and the fallout could touch everyone from Victor to Billy to Catherine's legacy itself. Meanwhile, the town is buzzing with speculation. Phyllis Summers, ever the opportunist, has reportedly been spreading rumors about the feud at Crimson Lights, while Sharon tries to play peacemaker, with little success. Even Lauren Fenmore has weighed in, telling a friend that those two could destroy half the town and still find a way to blame each other. Social media in the Y&R universe is ablaze, with fans taking sides. Hashtag Team Jill and hashtag Team Nikki are trending among viewers, who can't get enough of the drama. What makes this all so enthralling is how personal it feels. Genoa City isn't just a place, it's a legacy, and both Jill and Nikki are fighting for their claim to it. Jill sees herself as the embodiment of Catherine's fighting spirit, while Nikki sees herself as the elegant guardian of the Newman dynasty. Both women believe they're protecting what's rightfully theirs. But as history has shown, Genoa City isn't big enough for two queens. The next few weeks promise more fireworks than the 4th of July. Insiders tease that the feud could take a shocking turn involving an unexpected betrayal. Someone close to one of the women might switch sides, perhaps for love, perhaps for revenge. And when that happens, the fragile balance holding Genoa City together could crumble completely. With secrets, scandals, and power plays in motion, it's only a matter of time before this feud claims its first major casualty. But even amid the chaos, one can't help but admire both women. Jill Abbott and Nikki Newman have become icons, symbols of strength, survival, and sophistication. They've lived, loved, lost, and risen again, time and time again. Their feud may be explosive, but it's also deeply human. It's about ambition, legacy, and the complicated dance between friendship and rivalry. As the dust settles, or perhaps as it rises even higher, one thing is certain: Genoa City will never be the same. Jill and Nikki's war is rewriting the rules of the game. And for fans, it's the most thrilling chapter yet in a saga that proves power, passion, and pride never go out of style. The catfight of the century isn't just about who wins or loses, it's about two women refusing to be written off, even after all these years. Whether they destroy each other or find a way to rise from the ashes stronger than ever, one thing's for sure: this feud will go down in Genoa City history as the moment everything changed. The champagne glasses have been thrown, the alliances have been shattered, and the claws are officially out. Grab your popcorn, Y&R fans, because the Jill vs. Nikki showdown is only getting started. Victor Newman's bombshell. However, when Victor interrupts, he will have some news to share with Jill. This news ends up shocking her. So much so that later in the week, Jill and Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, both confront Kane about those deceptive 6 years. Despite the confrontation with Kane, Jill still might take his side. It sounds like a similar dynamic to the one Victor had with Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, and Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley. Billy feels like he's the scapegoat, while Kane gets all of Jill's support. Victor Newman's bombshell: the mustache drops a revelation that shakes Genoa City to its core. When Victor Newman speaks, Genoa City listens, but this time, even his own family wasn't ready for what came out of his mouth. The legendary patriarch, the man who built an empire from the ground up and ruled it with an iron fist, has dropped a bombshell so massive that it sent shockwaves through every corner of the Newman dynasty. From the boardrooms of Newman Enterprises to the intimate halls of the Newman Ranch, whispers are flying, loyalties are shifting, and hearts are breaking. Victor's latest move could change everything, and no one, not even his most loyal allies, is safe from the fallout. It all started with a closed-door meeting at Newman Enterprises, the kind of hush-hush gathering that usually spells trouble. Insiders say Victor called in Victoria, Nick, Adam, and Nikki, but notably left out a few key executives who are normally present for high-level discussions. The air was thick with tension as the family gathered around the conference table, their father at the head, wearing that unmistakable look of authority and mystery. He didn't waste time with pleasantries. "I have an announcement," he said, his voice calm but commanding. "And it's one that will change this family, and this company, forever." The silence that followed was deafening. According to a source close to the situation, Victor's announcement had nothing to do with a merger or business acquisition. This wasn't about money or power, at least, not directly. Instead, it was about family. "I've made a decision," he continued, "one that will secure the Newman legacy for generations to come. But it's not going to please everyone in this room." That statement alone sent chills down spines, especially Adam's and Victoria's. Whenever Victor hints at a shake-up in the family hierarchy, it usually means one thing: someone's about to lose control. The bombshell? Victor announced that he's been working on a secret project, a plan that's been in motion for months, hidden even from his own children. Rumors suggest it involves a shocking new partnership and a mysterious acquisition that could completely alter Newman Enterprises' future. Some say Victor has quietly taken over a rival company in an under-the-radar deal that even the SEC hasn't caught wind of yet. Others believe he's decided to pass on leadership not to Victoria or Nick, but to someone no one expected, perhaps even Adam, or worse, an outsider. But there's more. Word around the ranch is that Victor's revelation has a deeply personal element, one connected to a long-buried secret from his past. A letter, allegedly discovered among old family records, may have triggered this entire chain of events. Some insiders speculate that the letter pertains to a child Victor never knew he had, or a betrayal from decades ago that's finally come to light. Those who know Victor best say the look in his eyes during that meeting wasn't just business-like determination, it was haunted. He looked like a man who'd seen a ghost, one insider revealed. The news has torn through Genoa City like wildfire. Victoria, furious at being blindsided once again, has reportedly confronted her father in private, accusing him of undermining her leadership. "You built this company for your ego, not your legacy," she's said to have shouted. Meanwhile, Nick is trying to keep the peace, though even he's having trouble understanding what Victor's endgame really is. Adam, however, sees opportunity. He's been unusually quiet since the meeting, which, for Adam, is rarely a good sign. When Adam Newman goes silent, it usually means he's plotting something big. Nikki, ever the steadfast matriarch, is said to be standing by her husband's side, but even she's uneasy. The strain of holding the Newman family together has always weighed heavily on her, and this new revelation might be the final straw. "I've supported you through everything," she told Victor, according to one close confidant. "But this, whatever you're doing, could destroy everything we've built." Still, she knows better than anyone that once Victor makes up his mind, there's no stopping him. And if Victor's track record tells us anything, his bombshell isn't a rash decision. It's part of a grand design, one that's been meticulously crafted behind the scenes. Victor Newman never moves without purpose. Every secret he keeps, every ally he cultivates, every enemy he destroys, it's all part of the bigger picture. The question now is, what picture is he painting this time? The business world is buzzing with speculation. Rival power players like Jack Abbott and Tucker McCall have already begun trying to uncover what Victor's next move entails. Tucker, in particular, is convinced this is part of a power play to absorb Chancellor Winters or to destabilize Jabot from the inside. "Victor never acts alone," Tucker reportedly said over drinks at Society. "He's got someone working for him, someone we don't see coming." Jack, ever wary of his longtime nemesis, is equally suspicious. If Victor's making moves, it means he's found a way to get what he wants without anyone noticing, he told Phyllis. And that means trouble. The potential implications are staggering. If Victor's secret partnership involves a rival company, it could give him unprecedented control over Genoa City's corporate landscape. Imagine a world where Newman Enterprises has stakes in Chancellor Winters, Jabot, and even Newman Media, effectively controlling every major power center in town. It sounds impossible, but when it comes to Victor Newman, the impossible often becomes reality. He's pulled off corporate miracles before, and this might be his most audacious move yet. And yet, underneath the business maneuvers and strategic brilliance, there's an emotional current flowing through this story. Those closest to Victor can sense it, the restlessness, the regret, the need to cement his legacy in a way that goes beyond profits and power. He's getting older, and though he'll never admit it, he's starting to think about what happens when he's gone. Who carries on the Newman name? Who protects the empire he's built? These are the questions that keep him awake at night, and they may be what drove him to drop this bombshell in the first place. Of course, in true Newman fashion, the announcement has ignited new rivalries within the family. Victoria feels betrayed, Adam feels vindicated, Nick feels conflicted, and Nikki feels torn between loyalty and fear. Abby, who's been trying to carve out her own place in Genoa City's elite, might find herself dragged into the chaos as well. Her connection to both the Newman and Chancellor families could make her a key player in the fallout, or a target. Meanwhile, across town, whispers are starting to circulate that Victor's revelation might also tie into a new scandal, one that could rewrite the family's history. Some sources suggest that the letter found in Victor's possession came from someone presumed dead. Others say it's tied to a secret investment fund with connections to Newman Enterprises' darkest chapters. Whatever it is, one thing is certain, Victor Newman's bombshell has set off a chain reaction that no one can stop. The Newman Empire is teetering on the edge of transformation. And with enemies like Jack Abbott, Tucker McCall, and even Audra Charles circling like vultures, Victor's every move is under scrutiny. But if there's one thing fans know, it's that Victor thrives under pressure. He doesn't crumble, he conquers. When the world pushes against him, he pushes back harder. And yet, this time feels different. This time, the threat might not come from outside forces, but from within his own family. Could Victor's bombshell involve appointing a new CEO, someone unexpected, perhaps even controversial? Or could it be that he's stepping down altogether, leaving his empire in the hands of someone no one anticipated? There's even speculation that he's using this moment to manipulate his children into proving their loyalty. Whatever the case, every move he makes seems calculated to keep everyone guessing. And that's the hallmark of Victor Newman. He doesn't just play the game, he rewrites the rules. As the dust settles, all eyes are on the Newman ranch. Behind those iron gates, the family is reportedly splintering, alliances forming and dissolving in real time. Victoria has retreated into strategy mode, possibly preparing a counterattack. Adam is watching, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Nick is trying to be the voice of reason, but even he's losing patience with his father's endless manipulation. And Nikki? She's the wild card, the one who knows Victor's secrets better than anyone, but who also knows that crossing him could mean losing everything. The tension has reached a breaking point. Genoa City's elite are bracing themselves for whatever comes next. Victor's bombshell has changed the game, and no one knows where the pieces will fall. But one thing is clear, the mustache isn't done yet. Whether this move is about redemption, revenge, or pure strategy, it's setting the stage for the next great Newman power struggle, one that could reshape the future of the entire city. For decades, Victor Newman has been the heartbeat of Genoa City, its king, its warrior, its ruler. He's fought, schemed, and sacrificed for his empire. But every king eventually faces his greatest test. As this new chapter unfolds, fans are left wondering, has Victor finally met his match? Or is this bombshell just another brilliant move in a game only he knows how to win? Whatever the truth, one thing's certain, the Newman Empire will never be the same again. And in the world of the young and the restless, where power is everything and loyalty is never guaranteed, Victor's bombshell may be remembered as the moment that changed everything. The legend continues, the stakes rise higher, and Genoa City holds its breath, waiting for the next move from the man who built it all, Jack Abbott's pressure. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, October 8th reveal that Jack will try to get Kane to do the right thing. While they were one close, that isn't the case anymore. At the same time, Jack could try to find common ground with the tycoon, maybe reminding him of what's truly important. Jack Abbott's pressure, the Jabot Titan cracks under the weight of power, family, and betrayal. The world of Genoa City has seen its fair share of drama, deception, and dynastic wars, but few figures have carried as much burden as Jack Abbott. The suave, silver-haired CEO of Jabot, long considered the moral center of the Abbott family, is now facing a storm that threatens to break him. For years, Jack has been the steady hand guiding Jabot through chaos, but recently, the weight of family expectations, corporate rivalries, and personal betrayals has begun to take its toll. Rumors are swirling that the once unshakable Abbott patriarch is finally cracking under pressure, and if that's true, the entire Abbott empire could come crashing down around him. It all began with subtle shifts, missed meetings, tense conversations, and Jack's increasingly erratic behavior at the office. Employees at Jabot have noticed that the normally composed CEO has become short-tempered and distracted. One insider revealed, Jack used to command every room he walked into. Now he seems haunted. Like he's fighting a war no one else can see. And that war isn't just professional, it's deeply personal. At the heart of Jack's turmoil is his family. The Abbott name has always been synonymous with prestige, but lately, it's been more associated with scandal and division. Between Kyle's turbulent personal life, Billy's unpredictable loyalty, and the constant corporate tug-of-war with Victor Newman, Jack's shoulders are bearing more weight than ever before. He's holding everyone together with sheer willpower, one close friend confided. But you can only hold the line for so long before something snaps. The immediate source of Jack's pressure appears to be a perfect storm of professional and emotional challenges. Jabot is facing an aggressive takeover attempt, not from an external company, but from within its own ranks. Rumors suggest that Kyle Abbott, once Jack's pride and joy, has been aligning himself with forces outside the family to push his father out. It's a move that echoes the past, reminiscent of the many betrayals that have haunted the Abbott legacy. For Jack, the idea of his son turning against him cuts deeper than any corporate loss. He's fought Victor Newman, Tucker McCall, and Ashley Abbott, but facing betrayal from his own blood may be the wound that refuses to heal. And then there's Ashley. Jack's sister has been teetering between sanity and obsession since her last breakdown, and her recent actions have reignited old rivalries. She's accused Jack of making reckless decisions for Jabot and claimed he's no longer fit to lead. Behind closed doors, the siblings' arguments have reportedly grown explosive. They're back in full Abbott mode, yelling, crying, then pretending everything's fine the next day, said a longtime family associate. But this time, the tension feels different. It feels final. The pressure has been mounting for months, and it's starting to show. At a recent shareholders' meeting, Jack appeared visibly shaken. He stumbled over figures, snapped at an assistant, and abruptly ended the session after an unexpected question about Jabot's declining profits. For a man known for his composure, the public display was startling. The whispers began immediately. Has Jack lost control? Jack's allies, like Tracy and Diane, have been doing everything they can to support him, but even their reassurance isn't enough to quell the growing unease. Diane, in particular, has found herself in a difficult position. Once the great love of Jack's life, now his partner in both business and love, she's watched him wrestle with demons that seem to grow darker by the day. Some say she's becoming frustrated, that Jack's refusal to open up is pushing her away. She's worried, one source said. But she's also afraid. She knows what happens when Jack hits his breaking point. The corporate world, of course, smells blood in the water. Victor Newman, ever the opportunist, is reportedly monitoring Jabot's instability closely. With Victor's empire expanding and the Newman family once again consolidating power, the mustache may see this as the perfect moment to strike. Tucker McCall, too, is lurking in the shadows, eager to exploit any weakness. Jack's heart is his biggest flaw, Tucker was overheard saying at Society. He leads with it, and that's exactly how I'll take him down. But business pressures aren't the only thing weighing Jack down. The ghosts of his past, his father's expectations, his failed relationships, and the never-ending competition with Victor, seem to be catching up with him. Every time he looks at Jabot's headquarters, he's reminded of John Abbott's legacy, a legacy he's fought so hard to uphold but may now be in danger of losing. He feels like he's failing his father, Tracy recently confided to a friend. And that's breaking him more than anything else. The emotional toll has reached a boiling point. Friends have noticed Jack spending more time alone, isolating himself in his office late into the night. There are whispers that he's been turning once again to unhealthy coping mechanisms, the kind that nearly destroyed him years ago. Jack's struggles with addiction are no secret, and the thought of him relapsing under the current pressure has those who love him terrified. He's teetering on the edge, a family insider revealed. If something doesn't give soon, he could spiral in a way we haven't seen before. Meanwhile, the pressure at home is mounting. Kyle's recent decisions have driven a wedge between father and son, and the tension is palpable. The young executive's ambition has grown darker, more ruthless, almost reminiscent of Victor's younger years. Some even speculate that Kyle's been taking cues from the Newmans, something that would feel like the ultimate betrayal to Jack. The father-son bond that once anchored the Abbott family now feels fractured beyond repair. And then there's Billy. Always the wild card, Billy has been oscillating between supporting Jack and undermining him, depending on his mood or agenda. With his latest move into corporate affairs, Billy's loyalty is under question yet again. Jack desperately wants to trust his brother, but experience has taught him to be wary. "Every time I let my guard down with Billy, I get burned," Jack reportedly told Diane. "I can't keep fighting battles on every front. The emotional exhaustion is real, and the cracks are widening." In recent weeks, Jack has begun lashing out in uncharacteristic ways, storming out of meetings, canceling appointments, and avoiding family gatherings. Even his closest confidants are beginning to whisper about burnout. "He's human," Tracy said softly during a recent heart-to-heart. "He's spent his whole life trying to be invincible. But even heroes get tired." Of course, in Genoa City, weakness is blood in the water. Victor sees it, Tucker sees it, and even Phyllis sees it. Ever the opportunist, Phyllis Summers has been seen hovering around Jabot again, claiming she just wants to check in on Jack. But insiders know Phyllis's interest is rarely innocent. Whether she's genuinely concerned or simply sensing a potential opening to reclaim power remains to be seen. But just when everyone assumes Jack might crumble completely, he does what Jack Abbott always does, he fights back. Despite his exhaustion, he's quietly formulating a plan to save Jabot and restore the Abbott legacy. "No one destroys what my father built," he was overheard saying late one night. "Not Victor, not Tucker, not even my own family." Those who know Jack well recognize that determination, the fire that's kept him going through heartbreak, loss, and betrayal. But the question remains, does he still have enough left in him to win this war? The coming days promise to be pivotal. With Jabot's stock in flux, the Newman empire expanding, and Tucker lurking in the background, Jack must make impossible choices. Does he trust his family, even knowing they may betray him? Does he reach out to old allies like Lauren and Michael for help? Or does he take drastic action, perhaps a merger, a resignation, or something even more shocking, to protect what remains of the Abbott name? One thing is certain, the pressure is reaching critical mass. The man who's held his family together for decades is now standing at a crossroads, and every decision he makes could define the future of Genoa City's most beloved dynasty. As Victor Newman once said of Jack, he's a good man. But good men break easier than the rest. Yet, those who underestimate Jack Abbott often regret it. Beneath the weariness, beneath the doubt, there's still that spark of the fighter who's taken on giants and lived to tell the tale. Whether he rises again or finally succumbs to the relentless weight pressing down on him will determine not just his fate, but the legacy of the entire Abbott family. In Genoa City, power never sleeps, and neither does pain. Jack Abbott's pressure is building, and when it finally explodes, no one, not even Victor, will be safe from the fallout. Victor. Audra Charles's bitterness. Over with Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, and Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver, expect the pair to continue getting under each other's skins. While Kyle claims to his parents that he's ready to get to work and save Jabot, I wonder if Audra will somehow intercept those plans, even unknowingly. What is this? Report ad. There is also the Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, situation. Will this situation with Billy ruin her chances for funding her own company? Billy seems angrier than ever and blames his mother for pretty much everything. Does Sally really want to be with someone who will treat their own mother with such disregard? Sally needs to remember that one day Billy could turn on her, so stay tuned. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most on Wednesday, October 8, 2025? Audra Charles's bitterness, the ambitious beauty's dark turn shocks Genoa City as her rage boils over. There's a storm brewing in Genoa City, and at the center of it all is none other than Audra Charles, a woman who has clawed, charmed, and schemed her way to power, only to find herself consumed by the very ambition that once made her unstoppable. Once seen as a confident, calculating player in the corporate world, Audra's polished facade is starting to crack, revealing a bitterness so deep that it's threatening to destroy everything and everyone around her. For months, she's played the game with poise and precision. But now, the mask is slipping, and the real Audra, hurt, angry, and vengeful, is emerging. Audra Charles came to Genoa City with a plan. She was going to rise to the top, no matter who she had to outwit, seduce, or betray to get there. And for a while, it worked. She charmed powerful men, outmaneuvered dangerous rivals, and positioned herself as one of the city's most formidable women. But every empire built on manipulation eventually faces a reckoning. And for Audra, that reckoning has arrived. Her bitterness has become her new weapon, and the entire city is feeling its sting. It began with heartbreak, a kind she didn't see coming. Kyle Abbott, the man who once captivated her with his confidence and charm, walked away from her just when she thought she'd finally found someone who understood her. Their relationship, though rooted in passion and control, had given Audra a rare sense of vulnerability. But when Kyle betrayed her trust, choosing his complicated past with Summer Newman over her, something inside Audra snapped. The woman who had once played love like a chess game suddenly found herself the pawn, and she's not taking it lying down. Since that day, Audra has been spiraling, but not in the way most would expect. To the outside world, she still looks flawless, the sleek wardrobe, the icy stare, the confident walk through the halls of Newman Media. But those who know her best, or have crossed her, can sense that something darker is taking root. She's angry, one insider whispered. Angrier than we've ever seen her. And when Audra gets angry, people get hurt. Her bitterness isn't just about love, it's about power, pride, and revenge. She's convinced that she's been underestimated, disrespected, and discarded by people who never truly appreciated her brilliance. From the Newmans to the Abbotts, Audra feels the sting of rejection everywhere she turns. Tucker McCall used her and moved on, Kyle broke her heart, and Nikki Newman, her supposed mentor, turned her back when the scandal started. It's left Audra with a single-minded determination, to make them all pay. Those close to her say she's been quietly plotting behind the scenes, forging alliances with some of Genoa City's most dangerous players. She's been seen having late-night meetings with Adam Newman, whose own thirst for revenge makes him the perfect partner in crime. Others suspect she's reconnected with Tucker, though whether she plans to reconcile or destroy him is anyone's guess. Audra doesn't forgive easily, one associate noted. If Tucker thinks she's coming back into his orbit as an ally, he's in for a rude awakening. At Newman Media, the atmosphere is tense. Employees have noticed that Audra has become ruthless, even by her standards. She's cutting deals without approval, manipulating investors, and freezing out anyone who questions her authority. Some say she's trying to build her own empire within Newman, setting the stage for a takeover that could blindside both Adam and Nikki. She's playing the long game, another insider revealed. She's not interested in being second to anyone anymore. Not to Kyle, not to Tucker, not to the Newmans. She wants to be queen. But power fueled by bitterness is a dangerous thing, and Audra's sharp instincts are starting to blur under the weight of her resentment. Her decisions have grown more reckless, her temper shorter, her charm colder. The once calculated manipulator is now acting out of emotion, and that's making her unpredictable. Those who have underestimated her in the past are about to see just how dangerous a wounded Audra Charles can be. Her vendetta against Kyle, in particular, is turning into something personal, and possibly destructive. Rumors suggest she's been digging into his business dealings, looking for anything she can use to ruin his reputation. Some believe she's already found something explosive, perhaps a secret that could destroy Kyle's standing at Jabot and strain his relationship with his family. Kyle thinks he broke her heart, one insider said. He has no idea she's about to break his world. But even as she targets her enemies, Audra can't escape the gnawing emptiness inside her. Beneath the anger lies a deep sense of betrayal, not just by the men who hurt her, but by herself. For all her cunning and confidence, Audra secretly believed she could rise above the chaos. She thought she could have it all, power, love, and respect. Now, watching those dreams crumble, she's lashing out at anyone who reminds her of what she's lost. Her bitterness has begun to alienate even her few remaining allies. At Society, she was recently overheard in a heated exchange with Adam Newman. Witnesses say she accused him of using her, just like everyone else. "You think you're smarter than me," she snapped. "But you're not. You're just another man who's afraid of a woman who won't bow down." Adam, never one to back down, fired back with his own venom, but the damage was done. Audra's bridge to one of her strongest potential allies is now in flames. Meanwhile, Tucker McCall has started to take notice of her erratic behavior. He's always admired Audra's ambition, it reminds him of himself, but even he knows that bitterness can be self-destructive. In a recent confrontation, Tucker reportedly warned her, "You're too emotional. That's how people lose power." Audra's response? A cold smile. "Maybe I'm not trying to hold power anymore, Tucker. Maybe I'm trying to burn it all down." Her words have sent chills through Genoa City's elite. When someone like Audra decides she has nothing left to lose, everyone should start running. Already, her actions are beginning to ripple through the business world. Deals are falling apart, alliances are crumbling, and whispers of scandal are spreading. It's as if Audra's bitterness has become contagious, infecting everything she touches. Even Nikki Newman has started to grow wary. Once a mentor figure who saw potential in Audra's drive, Nikki is now keeping her distance. The two recently clashed during a board meeting, where Nikki called out Audra's reckless ambition. Audra's response was icy and calculated. "Reckless," she said, leaning forward with that trademark smirk. "You call it reckless because it scares you. You've spent your life married to power, Nikki. I'm trying to become it." The exchange left the room silent, and Nikki visibly shaken. But perhaps the most shocking twist in Audra's downward spiral is yet to come. Some sources say she's been approached by an unknown investor, someone with deep pockets and a personal grudge against the Newmans and Abbotts alike. If Audra accepts the deal, she could have the resources to launch her own company, one that would directly compete with both Newman Media and Jabot. It would be the ultimate act of revenge, a declaration of war against everyone who's ever doubted her. The tragedy of Audra Charles is that her bitterness is both her weapon and her poison. It gives her strength, but it's also eating her alive. Those close to her say she's become isolated, spending long nights alone in her penthouse, staring out at the city she once vowed to conquer. "She's lost," said one friend. "She's powerful, beautiful, and brilliant, but she's lost herself in her own hate." Still, if history has taught us anything, it's that Audra Charles should never be counted out. She's been knocked down before and always finds a way to rise. The question is, who will she become when she does? Will she embrace redemption, or will her bitterness finally consume her completely? The winds are shifting in Genoa City, and Audra's name is on everyone's lips. She's the woman to watch, unpredictable, dangerous, and unapologetically ruthless. Whether she's plotting revenge, rebuilding her power, or setting the stage for her enemy's downfall, one thing is clear, Audra Charles isn't finished yet. If anything, her bitterness has made her more powerful than ever. Newman.